know what you want. You want beaches and palm trees, sunshine and warmth. And yet something nasty out there is lurking that is ruining that paradise for you and threatening that dream. And that nasty thing is called insurance. Insurance in Florida is in flux. Frequent big storms, fraud, and litigation have sent premiums skyrocketing. In many cases, premiums have gone up 50 to 100%. Yes, you heard that right. Even for myself, our homeowners insurance alone just went up $5,000 last year for no reason. We had absolutely no claims. It was just a letter in the mail saying, here's your new rate. And these shocking charges are making homeowners make different decisions, or at worst, knocking people out of their homes altogether. In this video, we're going to talk about the latest that's happening with Florida homeowners insurance and flood insurance, and how hopefully you can still achieve your dream of living in paradise and still ensure that piece of paradise that you want to call your own. Possibly the worst thing that could actually happen is for you to be under contract for a dream property here in Florida, only to find out that insurance is either unobtainable for that house, or the premium is so expensive that it becomes unaffordable for your overall budget. And unless you have a disclosure built into that contract, you cannot get out of that contract based on insurance being expensive or unavailable. Look, insurance is the affordable housing issue that's facing the state of Florida. Our taxes we can lock in, interest rate you can lock in, and yet we have this crazy third leg of insurance that's wobbly at best. This is more than just the ability to cover our stuff that we own. This is a health and safety issue. So what is going on with Florida insurance? Let's talk about it. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to share with you some shocking statistics that prove that Florida is not alone in its insurance woes. The headlines are disheartening, concerning, and frankly, downright scary. Saying things like, Florida's insurance market is dysfunctional, surging insurance costs scare buyers, and skyrocketing insurance rates test the resolve of homeowners. According to Policy Genius, Florida insurance prices were up an average of 68% over the last 2 years. Some of the increase in costs is simply because we've seen a significant increase in the value of our properties. So not only does the cost to insure go up, but the cost to make repairs goes up. If the world had stayed the same, some of this wouldn't be as dramatic. But inflation making the cost of materials and supplies go up, plus the labor shortage, have all contributed. And unfortunately, we've had the challenges of lawsuits driving the prices up too. The cost of a claim has not gone up arbitrarily just because an insurer wanted it to, but because more had to be paid for materials and more had to be paid for labor. But we are told that there is hope. First, in Florida, a handful of new insurance companies are writing policies now in 2024. This is definitely a positive step, but it comes with a word of caution. You really don't know how good an insurance company is until a natural disaster hits and they get exposed to several claims at the same time. But let's try to focus on the positive. More competition in the market could signal a slowdown to skyrocketing increases. And that really is the overall hope, that our new normal here in Florida would be more stable increases. Because look, it's unlikely that things are going to get cheaper. Costs go up every year for everything. The hope is that we can stabilize it. That's a realistic expectation. In general, across the country, insurance rates tend to go up 10 to 13% every year. And if you know as a homeowner that your insurance rate could potentially go up by that amount every year, that's something that you can plan for. That is not something that will likely knock people out of their homes. But if we continue to see these crazy instant hikes that no one is prepared for, then that's going to force homeowners to make other choices. Look, the ship is turning. It's just not turning as fast as we'd all like it to. It's going to take some time for things to balance out. Over the long haul, Florida insurance rates will become more reasonable. Unfortunately, right now, the pain is still there and it's still fresh. The only relief that may come in the short term will happen later this year in 2024 in the form of a small tax break on our premiums. Basically, it's a rebate to policyholders equal to 1.75% of their net premium that's due. As it was explained to me, it's a tax that Florida puts on insurance companies that the state is now requiring be given back to the people in the form of a rebate. It's not much, but it's something. Hardening your home is also something that homeowners can do to save on insurance costs. Years ago, the reality was that if I put a new roof on my house, I knew that I could have significant savings on my homeowner's insurance. Nowadays, if I put a new roof on my house, I count myself lucky just to be able to keep my current insurance policy. So the state relaunched a program back in 2022 called the My Safe Florida Home program. In this case, eligible homeowners received free inspections and recommendations on what they could do to secure and protect their home from storm damage. Those recommendations would include things like storm shutters or impact windows, better roofing materials, better garage doors. And in turn, those homeowners who got those inspections could apply for grant funds to apply to those improvements, capping off at $10,000. Ultimately, though, the hope was that those improvements would result in a better insurance rate. Of course, what happened is that My Safe Florida Home was so popular that funds ran out quickly. The good news is that the new bill just recently passed and it's sitting on the governor's desk waiting for signature, and it will add $200 million to the program. Applications are supposed to reopen sometime this summer, but again, there are eligibility requirements. When I'm helping buyers here in Naples and Southwest Florida, I encourage them to contact an insurance agent prior to making an offer on a home. This is just so they have a better idea of what the insurance costs could be as a piece of their overall budget. But as one longtime insurance agent here pointed out, getting an insurance quote is not as easy as it used to be. He used to just be able to plug in an address into his program and it would spit out 10 to 15 property insurance quotes. These days, insurance companies want to evaluate, and they don't only want to evaluate the property to see what history of claims have been made on the property. They want to evaluate the home buyer to see what their history is of insurance claims. And this longtime insurance agent went on to say that insurance carriers and their quotes are all over the board right now. Just having two pieces of information, your elevation and what zone you're in, is not enough to accurately reflect your risk in 2024. What will help you is if the current homeowner has a 4-point inspection and even a wind mitigation study to share with you. These items will help you get a more accurate insurance quote for that property before you make an offer. And also, getting a copy of the current homeowner's declaration page could assist you in being able to successfully transfer their policy to you. Keep in mind, though, that your policy rate is likely to change, unless for some reason the value of that home has stayed the same. If the current homeowner paid $300,000 for the house and you're buying it for $600,000, then yes, your rate is going to change. It has to be commensurate with the current value of the home. And if you happen to be a cash buyer, which here in Naples and Southwest Florida, we are well above 50% for cash transactions, then it's just good practice to have your agent write into the contract that the seller will allow you to assume their current policy. Because if you are paying cash and you want coverage on that home, you have a 30-day wait period before coverage can begin. It's always good to have a good insurance agent by your side through this process, especially one who is local, knows the local market, one who knows the options, and knows what you should be considering. I know that Florida gets the brunt of the bad press. All the headlines are Florida, Florida, Florida. But Florida is not alone in its insurance woes. Other states are dealing with increases in insurance. Check out this map by Policy Genius. It shows the average premium increases from May 2021 through May 2023. And yes, Florida came out on top, but it's followed by New Mexico, Colorado, Idaho, and Texas, which all had mid 40% increases.